Between the cold mountains of Avon and Manon, in the city of Valachia, lies one of the largest botanical gardens in Europe. This sanctuary of natural life, located in the premises of the University of Trás-os-Montes e Alto Douro, also known as UTAD, has been growing for the last decades, promoting a strong symbiosis between knowledge and nature, past and future, technology and sustainability. Could this laboratory be the future of the interaction between man and nature? At an altitude of approximately 400 meters, on a plateau surrounded by the mountains of Avon and Manon, with a stunning view of the Corgo River cliffs, lies a city with rich traditions and a deep culture surrounding the famous Douro wine region, Valachia. In it, one can find the botanical garden of the University of Trás-os-Montes e Alto Douro, one of the largest in Europe. Internationally recognized since the 27th of May, 1988, this botanical garden is considered one of Portugal's most important live collections, with a full extent of 120 hectares. Blended subtly into the campus landscape, the garden reaches the Corgo River, terraces and cliffs, a stunning landscape integrated in the National Ecological Reserve and Red Natura 2000. While much of the garden is reserved for botanical collections, 30 hectares are currently allocated for agriculture and agrarian trials. And 10 hectares encompasses stunning woods, where a multitude of tree species such as chestnut, indigenous oak, pine, and eucalyptus can be observed. The botanical garden creation settles on permanently integrating the visitor with the environment inside the university campus. Projected by Professor Luis Torres de Castro, the botanical garden has reached an impressive record, with a live collection of approximately 1,000 species, reaching both autochthonous and exotic flora. Unlike most museums, closed and pre-established, the botanical garden is an open space where each visitor can discover and appreciate flora species at their own pace and in constant contact with nature. The university campus also greatly benefits from this living lab. With a great view to the green landscape, students can learn in an environment surrounded by biodiversity, where green follows knowledge. The botanical garden also provides other services, besides cultural and aesthetic, to the campus. Indeed, a multitude of agricultural and biological products are produced, from wine to honey, livestock to trout nurseries, among others. These latter are supported by the two main water streams that cross the garden's extent, Corgo River and Ribeira das Todinhas. With this huge diversity of ecosystem features, several wild animals thrive in the garden's environment. Insects, reptiles, amphibians, mammals, and birds find the campus a prosperous home. The visitor can also find a veterinary hospital where domestic animal species can be treated. Embedded in the veterinary hospital is a recovery center for wild animals. These temporary visitors are treated and later returned to nature. During the year, the botanical garden changes, displaying each season's characteristic colors and features. Each season paints the landscape with amazing color palette. However, what makes this botanical garden unique are the themed collections. The specimens that belong to these collections share some evolutionary traits, distinct characteristics that allowed their species to survive and evolve through time. But regardless of their similarities, each species is an individual germplasm that survived natural selection. The theme collection of the Douro graveyards is a sample of the Corgo Valley, one of the Douro River's most significant valleys. Here, we can gaze upon Douro's numerous endemic specimens, among other plants that proliferate in the region. It is proof of the Douro's demarcated region biological richness. The north of Portugal, with all its valleys, mountains, and acid soils, became a sanctuary for an extremely diverse flora. This diversity is replicated in the Mediterranean Silicicolias collection. In the sedimentary substrates of the southern Portugal, calcicle plants have adapted to overcome long drought periods by trapping water in their small but compact leaves. These exemplars are the main start of the Mediterranean calcicles theme collection. To maximize the fitness of their offspring, some plants have evolved to accommodate floral structures that rival artworks, designed to attract pollinators that transmit pollen across long ranges. Some great examples of this biological engineering can be observed in the Ericaceae collection. The archaic plant collection is characterized by the presence of mangoliids. The mangoliids brought exuberant flowers of disproportional sizes that embellished the Jurassic period along with the gymnosperms, creating mixed woods. This competition was so determinant so that the mangoliids are the origin of fruit plants, the angiosperms, during the Jurassic. Climate changes during the Jurassic, caused by movements of the tectonic plates, gave rise to the emergence of plants with simpler flowers, a wide range of sizes and shapes. Two families stand out in this period: Cistaceae and Fabaceae. The Cistaceae are characterized by flowers with radiated symmetry, while Fabaceae are characterized by papilionaceous flowers, which reveals an attempt to select the pollinator. The Fabaceae family, present in both hemispheres, from temperate to tropical latitudes, is surrounded by a mystery regarding their genesis. They are characterized by the unisexual character of their flowers, as well as the simple leaves with characteristic lobulation. The games of light and temperature caused by these beings are a delight to the senses and awake human imagination. The Myrtaceae collection is representative of a family scattered around the world. This family is marked by resilience, once that their primitive forms did not foresee the species' success. They were able to continuously adapt to different environmental conditions. wild fruit trees collection is composed by many species that, over the years, spontaneously followed our wild flora, but also by species brought by the hand of man that became part of our vegetal communities, thus being a true example of welcoming and integration into our agro-ecosystems. The upholsterer collection are characterized by a really dense and tangled ramification that adapted for limited environmental conditions or to see sunlight on a more efficient way. Humans discovered these plants as an excellent tool to quickly cover spaces or to better hold the subtract. The goal of the aromatic and medicinal plants collection is to be a small sample of the countless uses that humans have for these plants. More than 100 species and subspecies brought from the small Portuguese villages are the main floral cast of this collection. On the forestry collection, it is possible to contemplate some specimens that are used for forestry. Heating, housing and objects, construction, or making medicines and unguents are only fractions of these species' potential uses. On the ornamental softwoods collection, true nature survivors can be found. Plants that can thrive in climatic rigors due to their strong morphological rigidity. These species survived the creation of supercontinent Pangaea, that due to its extreme climate wiped out 85% of the biological diversity. Their survival is due to the development of a shield that allows them to bear daily thermal ranges higher than 50 degrees Celsius. The Vidacidae collection is constituted by a diverse set of grape varieties, from wine to table grapes, coming from Europe and other wine regions from all around the world. The various types of conducts to facilitate plant-oriented growth also deserve to be highlighted. The Ages of Men collection describes the evolution of the Holocene and Pleistocene vegetation and the species domesticated by humans over the last 10,000 years. This collection shows the transition of the paleotropical vegetation prior to the Pleistocene period and their transformation as the result of that period's numerous and violent glacial and interglacial processes. And lastly, the influence of men in flora transformation. These collections are an example of genetic variability and the testimony that many solutions can answer the same problem: mortality. Plants may not adapt to the environmental conditions that man induced in such an abrupt way, putting at risk genetic variability and survival of the species. To ensure the planet's sustainability, it is necessary to change certain behaviors. With this in mind, University of Trás-os-Montes e Alto Toro is establishing an eco-campus so that a new environment ethic can be incorporated on the university daily basis. The eco-campus main goal is a commitment with ecological sustainability and biodiversity in all their aspects, based on what is ecologically correct, economically viable, socially fair, and culturally diverse. The university is defined as a democratic place of free culture and thought, both in the sociological sense and in philosophical and humanistic terms. As an entity for the production and diffusion of knowledge, but also as a space for building and applying principles and values with an ethical, civic, and social impact, the university assumes as a priority the creation of an academic environment that excels in reflective and critical thinking by valuing creativity, innovation, but also social and environmental responsibility. Environmental commitment is based on a policy and an environmental sustainability agenda involving the entire academic community and the Botanic Garden visitors and practice of continuous improvement of environmental performance based on the fulfillment of the following commitment: campus planning and managing, new sustainable construction, energy efficiency and sources of renewable energy and air quality, resources and waste management, water conservation and effluent management, food services, green spaces management, health, welfare, and safety, environmental training and participation of the academic community, traffic management, guarantee of pedestrian or non-polluting circulation. To reduce traffic inside the campus, UTAD is going to provide the academical community with a bicycle pathway, as well as bicycles, to help create a more sustainable transport habit. Moreover, the university has its disposal of a fleet of electric cars, reducing its ecological footprint. It also provides free access to charging stations for electric vehicles to promote sustainable mobility. The university's sustainability policy is articulated with the 17 Sustainable Development Objectives, defined in the United Nations Agenda 2030, expressed in the document Transforming Our World, the Agenda for Sustainable Development of 2030, which meets the necessities of this generation without compromising the following. We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. David Brower.